Welcome, wrestling fans, here on the Nation Network for Monday Night Raw. We get ready to kick things off right here with the world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock, as he heads down the aisle.
Making his way to the ring from Sacramento, California, weighing in at 205 pounds, the world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock.
Well, indeed, tonight, Raw is War. The Monday Night Warriors featuring Monday Night Raw here on the Nation Network. Shamrock stepping between the ropes. He gets the nickname of the most dangerous man in the world for a reason, coming to us from the world of the Ultimate Fighting, where he was an absolute champion inside of that octagon. He brings those talents right here to the world of professional wrestling. Well, he's going to have to go up against one of the greatest in professional wrestling right here, Eddie Guerrero. He is legendary in his own right. His family name, the accomplishments, names like Hector and Chavo and Mondo Guerrero, just to name a few. And I dare say you couldn't throw a stone in Mexico and not hit somebody who knows everything about this man. Well, indeed, he's one of the pioneers that brought lucha wrestling here to the United States. It's going to be a very interesting mix of talent here when you talk around and talk about the styles of Eddie Guerrero against Ken Shamrock. Shamrock, of course, is a trained fighter. He's a man who knows how to wrestle. He knows jiu-jitsu. He knows Muay Thai. And then you're talking about somebody like Eddie Guerrero. He is a professional wrestler. He knows everything to do inside the professional wrestling ring. Well, my best guess is both of these guys are going to learn a thing or two from the other tonight. I want to send a shout out to everybody watching us here live on the Nation Network here tonight. Big JH is in the house. Andrew Roberts is here. And it's always a damn party when the clown's around. Indeed, Hooper is also in attendance. Thank you for joining us here. Jamon Scott joining as well. Eddie Guerrero wasted no time at all teaching, once again, Shamrock a little bit about what goes on inside a squared circle. Went for that big forearm, and he missed the target altogether there, and Shamrock gonna make him pay. Thing about Shamrock is he can make you pay a number of different ways. I mean, he's got the kicks, he's got the punches, he's got the submission holds. He's really the whole package. There's just no two ways about it. And now he's got that top mount position, something he's very familiar with from the MMA world. And he is hammering down on the head of Eddie Guerrero. And now Guerrero coming back. Hurricane Rana from a standstill. Nice move right there. Not easy to pull off. Not easy at all. And he made it look easy, and that's because he is that good at what he does. Fans, stick around because tonight we got a heck of a lineup coming your way. We're going to see D-Generation X in action as six-man tag. We are also going to see in our main event Stone Cold Steve Austin go one-on-one with the Olympic hero, if you want to call him that, Kurt Angle, and that promises to be another barn burner. Guerrero now springboarding off that middle rope for a drop kick, but he missing the target. And now look at this, rolls him up. Nice reversal right there, and Eddie Guerrero almost got one. Look at the back suplex, nicely done right there, and Eddie. And now some punishment here. And Shamrock gonna have to work his way back up. Nice drop kick right there by Eddie Guerrero. Guerrero, of course, former Intercontinental Champion, former Tag Team Champion, former World Heavyweight Champion. He's done them all. Well, Shamrock also a former Intercontinental Champion, and he's definitely proven himself time and time again. A lot of people think it's only a matter of time and opportunity before he becomes a world champion here in the world of the WWF. We'll have to wait and see. Well, we talk about attitude, and one thing for sure, Ken Shamrock is not shy on attitude, and he's got him tied up, and there he is. He's got him in that crossface sleeper hold. He's got it across the mouth and the nose. That's something the referee might want to check on there. That's a suffocation maneuver there. Yeah, you can tell it took a lot out of Eddie Guerrero. He's a little lightheaded, even for the short amount of time he had it on. We got to figure the match has gone on for a little while now. These guys are starting to huff and puff. I don't care how good a shape you're in. When you're doing the things they're doing, you're going to need oxygen. When it comes to wearing people down, Ken Shamrock knows that business better than anybody. Smart move right there by Guerrero to attack the leg of Shamrock. And now Shamrock colliding with the referee. He didn't get out of the way. Shamrock slides out the back door that time. And now going to try. And look at this, Eddie Guerrero all the way over the top rope and down to the floor. Referee starting to count. Guerrero, no problem getting back in the ring in time. And now these two lock up again. Look at this, backing him into the corner, slaps him in the face. Ken Shamrock not showing very much in the way of respect for Eddie Guerrero right now. Well, the fans generally are behind Ken Shamrock. But the fact of the matter is, he's not always going to be that guy. He's not going to be the hero riding in on the big white horse with the white hat. That's just not his style. Well, it may not be, but when it comes here to the world of professional wrestling and the world of attitude, pretty much that's exactly what we would expect. And now Shamrock going for the ankle lock, and he's got it on him. There are two people right now in the World Wrestling Federation that can apply that hold with lethal force, and one of them is doing it right now. Yeah, not damn safe. Look at Guerrero desperately trying to reach the ropes, but he's nowhere near him. They're releasing the hold, and Shamrock. Guerrero caught him coming off the rope somehow. I don't even know how he pulled that one off. Big kick, and you mentioned earlier about the feet of Ken Shamrock. You see those kick pads he's wearing? That's not for show, folks. Well, it wouldn't do him a whole lot of good to have all that training and not use it here. Oh, he misjudged. He went up to the top rope a little too soon. Guerrero wasn't as hurt as he thought he was, and been a tremendous back and forth battle between these two men. I gotta be honest with you, I have no idea how this one's gonna turn out. Start to see this crowd getting up to their feet now. They can tell it's coming to a cusp. Sooner or later, something's gotta give. I'll also say this right now, I'm a little surprised. Other than that little back and forth we saw earlier, not a lot of pin attempts being made right now. Shamrock got caught with a knee as he tried taking Guerrero off the apron, and that backfires. Going after the leg down, he's got that ankle lock again, but this time Guerrero is right there at the ropes, and he'll manage the grip. Shamrock now, what's he got in mind? Well, he's going up to that middle rope, and he is waiting on Guerrero. Hurricane Rana! Holy cow! Well, that's not something you'd expect to have seen from him as much as Guerrero. He's going to cover, and then he manages to grab the bottom rope. That was a close one right there, and he's got to be really fortunate that the referee noticed it, because from the point of view the referee had, he could have missed it just as easily, and Guerrero would be on the 3 count. Off the ropes now, look at Shamrock dropping a leg. Yeah, check my watch, it might be 1985 again. Oh, these two guys are really going back and forth with one another. Neither one willing to give it up. Neither one of them ready to put the other one away, or perhaps neither one of them capable of putting the other one away. There's the 3 amigo suplexes by Guerrero. We know that he uses that to set up for that 5-star frog splash. If he hits with that, it's all over. Well, there's a scoop slam right there. Now Eddie Guerrero's going to go for it. Oh, look at this. Shamrock this time. He missed. Guerrero went for the drop kick, and he overshot the target completely. Guerrero trying one more time now. He's got the cover. He's in that corner. Shamrock is right near the ropes, but he manages to kick out. He could have just easily grabbed the rope, I think. I think Shamrock probably wanted Eddie to know that you don't have me yet. Belly to back suplex, really well done right there by Ken Shamrock. And now he's going to work on that arm. And this is what we talked about earlier, the MMA training coming into effect here. Joint manipulation, and that's exactly what he's relying on. And Guerrero, bang body drops him all the way out to the floor. Stiff forearm now, and Guerrero takes the fight to the floor. He and Shamrock, they are going to battle all over the place the way this thing's going tonight. We might end up in the parking lot before it's all said and done. Breaking the eyes right there, and Guerrero is just going off right now, trying to put this guy down once and for all, but look out! Belly suplex, that time on the floor, and that's going to definitely drive the wind out of the sails of Eddie Guerrero. Both men beat the count. Shamrock just going for the cover here. I'm a little surprised. Let's see if he's done enough damage. 2 3/4 count right there, and I'll tell you that belly to belly on the floor might have knocked the stuffings out of him, but Guerrero's still not giving up. Slides out the back door now. Shot block to the back of the knee, and down goes Shamrock. Man, these two guys just keep going back and forth. There is no give. No matter how hard one hits, the other one replies with an equal amount of force, which is hard to believe at this point in the match. Oh, he's going to go for that ankle lock again, and he's in the middle of the ring. There is nowhere to go, and he might have no choice but to tap this time. Yeah, if he doesn't tap, he might lose a leg right there. You got to think long term, buddy. And indeed, he does. What a tremendous opening matchup here. What a great battle between two legends. Eddie Guerrero held on as long as he could, but man, that's the third time that ankle lock was applied. Most people don't get past the first. You know, there was that moment where Guerrero was getting ready to hit with a 5-star frog splash. Shamrock was able to get up in time to head him off. If not for that, we may be looking at a totally different outcome here tonight. I'd love to see these two guys go at it again. Fans, stick around. We'll be right back with more. As we get ready for our next matchup, once again, welcome everybody joining us here live on the Nation Network. Monday Night Warriors, tonight Raw is War. We got the Masters in the house. Miracle joining us once again. Welcome aboard and welcome back.
Scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Death Valley, weighing in at 330 pounds,
The Undertaker, the dead man, call him what you will. We have seen so many different incarnations of this man, this entity, this force throughout the many years here in the World Wrestling Federation. Well, he definitely seems to have a certain power about him that I can't possibly begin to understand, and I don't know that I want to. But this recent turn to the dark side makes him even more lethal than he was, if that's even remotely possible.
Do you smell what The Rock is cooking?
Well, these two guys are going to have a real slobber knocker as far as I can figure. Here we get a look at
from Miami, Florida,
this brash young man. Well, you talk about evolutions. We've seen this one as well. He got started out back at the Survivor Series Madison Square Garden to a hero's welcome in his debut. Shortly after that, became the Intercontinental Champion and then had a falling out with the fans. And from there, it was the Nation of Domination. Yeah, a bit of a meteoric rise in the career of this man. But that could all come to an end right now because your career is only alive long enough until the Undertaker gets there, and he may very well bury that career right here tonight. He's not even going to take off the shirt, is he? All right, well, hell. At least he took off his glasses. And these two meet in the middle of the ring, and now the Undertaker going to work on him. Well, Taker was actually signaling he's going to go for a choke slam early on the match. I've never seen him go for one that quick. Well, you see him right now. He's choking him out on the mat. Referee standing by. You've got 5 seconds to break that hold before you end up getting disqualified. And I'm pretty sure The Undertaker was aware that he was being watched. Big headbutt right there. Now goes The Rock. And again, The Undertaker seems like he wants to go for that chokeslam early. I'm not so sure right now. This isn't just a psychological ploy. He just wants The Rock to know that it could be coming at any moment. And he's got him off. What's he going to do? Oh, I thought he's going to go for the last ride. Instead, drops him across the top rope first, and that is going to definitely make life uncomfortable for The Rock. You're looking at two of the biggest names in the world of professional wrestling. These are guys who are household names. These are guys who are ratings rockets. And these are guys who are going to absolutely beat the ever-living hell out of each other right here tonight. Battle taking place now out on the floor, and The Rock gets his head rammed into the apron. Of course, The Rock, his father, the legendary Rocky Johnson, one half of the World Tag Team Champions. Grandfather, Peter Maivia, a legend here in the World Wrestling Federation, as well as Hawaii. Well, indeed, the family roots of, look at the referee's in the way. Referee's in the way. He better move his butt real quick before The Undertaker does something about it. Yeah, referee couldn't get out of the way, and that may have been a saving grace right there for The Rock, who's now turning the momentum around. And I can tell you right now, a little bit on the oddly enough side, the crowd is definitely not cheering The Rock. Well, you got two guys out there that, generally speaking, aren't well liked by the crowd nowadays. And look at this, off the ropes. Could be the people's elbow. There it is. He connects. Let me off. Taker, shoulders are down. There's a count of 2. He got out. That was a close one right there. But we have seen The Undertaker time and time again, year after year. Looks like he's about to be taken out, and then he just sits up. And that goes back to that power that he possesses that I just don't know how you explain it. I don't even try to. It's something you just have to either experience yourself by seeing him in action. But it's real. I'll tell you that right now. It is real. And big headbutt, that was real too. That just got The Rock full attention as he gets thrown into the turnbuckle now by the dead man. He's got that boot right under the chin. He's choking him out. Referee should have done a job in there by stepping in and breaking this count up, getting him out of the corner. Undertaker just stopped The Rock down, goes for the cover, doesn't hook the leg. Yeah, no surprise you don't get a 3 count either. You gotta hook the leg. That's fundamentals right there. And there's the choke slam finally. The talk is gone. And now, he might be getting ready to put him away. Nice block right there by The Rock. Otherwise, this one probably would have been over. Hit clothesline as well, and that turns the dead man inside out. Rock out there posing for the ringside crowd, and again, not finding many friends or fans. Back body drop. No, look at this, stealing a page from the book. And now back and forth, these two battling it out. And The Rock got the upper hand. Undertaker's out enough. Undertaker, what in the hell? He can't believe. The Undertaker just got a wake-up call courtesy of The Rock, the self-professed people's... Wait a minute! The Big Red Machine, he just took on his own brother, throws him right back into the People's Champion. Undertaker had the wherewithal to sidestep that one. The Big Red Machine, Kane, getting a shot in on The Undertaker. And now the action going out here in the ring, out to the floor. Rock hammering away with a series of right hands. There's a couple of stomps for good measure. Oh, look at that gut-wrench suplex on the floor. He's going to be feeling that one. Bone-rattling move right there. The impact of that one. And The Rock still able to fight back. The back elbow getting him out of trouble momentarily. He just caught the corners of the steel steps right in the abdomen, and that is going to hurt. You could have ruptured the spleen with a move like that. Referee's count continues to climb, and I'm not sure either one of these guys is paying attention. Undertaker has him up. Beats the count back in, and I don't think The Rock is going to make it. The Undertaker will get the win, albeit by a count out. Well, he wasn't able to put him away. He wasn't able to put him down for a 3 count. Wasn't able to make him submit. But at the same point in time, had a bit of a family reunion earlier on.
Here is your winner, The Undertaker.
Something tells me we're going to hear between The Undertaker and the Big Red Machine. This thing is nowhere near finished. Stick around, plenty more action still to come.
Are you ready? Hey, think you can tell us?
6-man tag team action, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a barn burner. I can promise you that. You want to talk about a slobber knocker? This is it. This could have been the main event easily. Oh, I think every one of these matches tonight could have been main event easily. What tremendous action we've had here. Oh, Monday Night Warriors. Oh, again, look at it. The gang's all here. It's always supposed to be 3 of them.
To the ring at a combined weight of 694 pounds. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Generation.
Well, as they make their way down towards the ring, you see the World Heavyweight Championship. You see the Intercontinental Championship. They've made it clear they are going after those tag team titles as well. The Generation X, they have been nothing but a pain in the ass for a lot of people around here as of late. Once again, welcome everybody out there joining us here live on the Nation Network. Retro Wrestling Network is in the house. Welcome aboard. As we get ready now for their opposition to come out here, this is going to be a slobber knocker, I don't mind telling you. Well, I believe the fans are going to be a little bit divided in this one.
And their opponents, first from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, weighing in at 235 pounds, Bret the Hitman Hart.
That's the Hitman Hart coming out here solo for some reason. I'm not sure what's going on here. I would think they'd want to come out. I mean, right now there's 5 members of DX out there. I don't know why you'd want to be here by yourself. Even when his tag team partners get here, they're going to be outnumbered. Yeah, you're right. He shouldn't be making any solo entrances in an environment like this. He has got his sights set on that World Heavyweight Wrestling Championship, currently held, operated and manipulated by Triple H. Here comes his tag team partner for many, many years now. They are former World Tag Team Champions on a number of occasions. Jimmy Apple Neidhart, former NFL player for the Oakland Raiders back in the day. The Anvil is a beast, no doubt about it. He is the power. Bret Hart is the finesse and the technical ability. You talk about power, you talk about finesse and technical ability. This gentleman right here has all of it wrapped together in one package. He's what you'd call a utility player. He can do anything.
260 pounds, the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith.
Davey Boy Smith, at one point in time, was one half of the world's greatest tag team at the time. They were the World Tag Team Champions in the British Bulldogs. Won those titles back at WrestleMania 2. Was that 2 or 3? I believe it was 3. Well, no matter, they were the tag team champions for quite a while. Tag team partner with the Dynamite Kid. The Dynamite Kid unfortunately suffered some really serious back injuries and cut that title reign short. I always wonder how long it would have lasted if not for the help. Bell sounds, and this one is underway, ladies and gentlemen. Wasting no time at all. The speed of X-Pac going to start things off here for DX. Meantime, the captain, Bret the Hitman Hart, going to start things off with the Hart Foundation. Cross body block, nicely done by the Hitman. Got a 2 count early on. Holy cow. Try for it again. This time he gets caught. X-Pac's a young man, very, very agile, tremendous athlete, high flyer. Got a very early start in his wrestling career. He was in the ring at the age of 17. He definitely made his rounds through different promotions, including GWF, Global Wrestling. Originally showed up here as the 1-2-3 Kid at one point in time, scoring a massive upset win over one Razor Ramon. Hitman now from the ropes comes up, elbow right to the head, nicely done. And this is smart wrestling right here by the Hitman, keeping him in his corner. Here's a tag made, keep the fresh man in, and that is the name of the game. And again, on somewhere between 3 or 4 different occasions, the Hart Foundation have been the tag team champions. You don't get there unless you know how to cut a ring in half. Well, it was a well-timed tag right there by X-Pac to bring in Triple H now. Oh, and the Anvil finding out what happens when you get to the wrong part of town as he's collecting incoming rounds from Triple H as well as X-Pac in that corner. There's another quick tag made again to the Hitman, and now, thus far, the Hart Foundation getting the job done. Nice double elbow right there, and Shawn Michaels paying the price. Looking for the leg drop, nobody home. Here's the Irish whip, and now the Hitman's in the wrong part of town. Tag made again. We are still waiting to see Triple H in this match, and we are still waiting to see the British Bulldog get in this match, but it's only a matter of time. Holy cow, he managed to do it. We talked about his athleticism earlier on. He slingshotted himself over that top rope almost to the midpoint of the ring and connected with that leg drop. Meantime, the Anvil going over the top rope. Almost took out the British Bulldog in the process, but now look at this. The Hitman dropping him with a pile driver, and that one's going to do some damage. There's one of the most lethal moves, and here we go. Finally, we're getting a look here at the British Bulldog. He has him up across the shoulder. What's he going to do with him? He drops him across the top rope. So the Irish whip sent him into the corner, and I'll tell you right now, the Hart Foundation doing a tremendous job of cutting the ring in half, and they are just rotating through each member of this team now. Nobody's taking that much damage, and the moment they do, they tag out and bring in the fresh man based on stride. What a dude right there! A desperation launch, and now we got the main event. The main event's the world champion against the number one contender, but look how quickly he tags out to Shawn Michaels. He don't want none of the Hitman. Well, it almost seemed that way, but at the same point, we've been saying keep the fresh man in, and that's what he did. Fresh man, he wasn't in that match 1 minute. I got to tell you, I think it was a smart move right there by Triple H. He baited the Hitman in. He knows how bad the Hitman wants to get his hands on him. And now look how things have worked out. Well, Bret Hart fighting his way out of that corner. At least he's attempting to. HBK, big right hand, and down he goes. Bret Hart trying to make it, he does make the tag, and here comes the Anvil. Caught Shawn Michaels and just drove him into the mat. Going for the cover. Got a 1 count. Irish whip reversal, and once again back in the wrong part of town. But Shawn Michaels managing to battle his way out, at least for the moment. He pulls Jim Anvil away from the corner, but nowhere near far enough, and the British Bulldog easily going to be able to make that save. Not even sure he really needed to, but err on the side of caution, I suppose. Nice back body drop right there by the Anvil. And that takes Shawn Michaels down once again. We welcome William Weir to the broadcast. Monday Night Warriors in action, 6-man tag action. Hammered away with a series of right hands. Here's the Irish whip. In the corner he goes. And now the Anvil fighting his way out one more time. Shawn Michaels realizing he's got to stay on his half of the ring, and he's doing it again now. Thought about it for a moment there. I thought he was going to make a tag, but I got to tell you, the man in this match, out of all 6 of them who has had the least amount of time in the ring, is our glorious world champion there, Triple H. He doesn't seem to want to get his hands dirty tonight. Well, you got to remember, he was the original Greenwich Blue Blood, and you know what? As the world champion, the smart thing would be not to get too damaged here tonight, because it's a 6-man tag match. But who knows, you know, as the champion schedule goes, next week you have a title match, and perhaps a lingering injury from a match like this could cost you the world title. Well, you don't seem to be worrying about Shawn Michaels so much and letting him get his butt handed to him out here. He's going to start to think he's going up against a bunch of Marines in a nightclub. And now the Anvil just pitches him across the ring and didn't let him make the tag. Triple H has to come in and make the save. Well, we talk about desperation moves. That was one of them. No two ways about it. And now from behind, X-Pac just dropping an anvil right on the back of his head. Quick recovery for Jim the Anvil Neidhart with a variation of a Samoan drop. And that rattle, and there's the tag made to the British Bulldog. Haven't seen a lot out of him yet. A looking runner out there, nicely done by X-Pac, and now he's back in control. He's got him locked up in a sleeper hold. He's got him in a sleeper, and the hitman Bret Hart there to make the save. Got a 1 count. X-Pac now. X-Factor! He just caught him with X-Factor. Now referee out of position. We'll see if he can get him. There's 1. There's 2. He got him. That is a big win right there for Degeneration X in a big match. DX pulling this one out. And perhaps those tag team titles will be coming home sooner rather than later. We'll be featuring the ladies in this one.
Making her way to the ring from Los Angeles, California, Victoria.
Miss Victoria stepping through those ropes right there. Our first look at her. We talk about all the big names that we have seen tonight in the men's division. Well, we're going to see 4 of the biggest names in the women's division as well, Victoria being one.
Now put this women's division up against anywhere else. They are the top performers at what they do. They are the best.
And her opponents, first from Baltimore, Maryland, Stacy Keibler.
Miss Stacy Keibler heading down.
Got those long legs, and she can get away with a lot of punishment with them. She's found the value in centrifugal force.
Yeah, she's got that spinning back kick, man. If she can catch you with that thing, she'll take your head clean off.
Started her career in wrestling as a valet. She was never planning to be an in-ring competitor, but things have changed.
Well, here we're talking about another one of the greats of all time here in Trish Stratus. Started out as a fitness model.
And from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, Trish Stratus.
Not being well received here by the fans here tonight.
Well, to say her behavior's been a little bit erratic would be an understatement. She is very hard to pin down, not just in the ring, but outside the ring.
Torres, maybe one of the most overlooked talents here when it comes to the women's division. Very talented young lady. She is well put together. She's built for wrestling, in my opinion. Not too big, not too small. athletic ability is right off the charts. And I would not be the least bit surprised if she comes away with a win here tonight. This being a fatal four-way, however, you got to get a pinfall or a submission. While there's 3 other people in the ring, or at least 2 others that are going to try and stop you, so it's not going to be easy. It's going to come down to a little bit more than just luck of the draw. You're going to have some skills going on here. You're going to have a strategy, really, that you time it right. Hopefully a couple of people maybe are having a fight outside the ring, or if all 3 are down, you can go for the pin on the weakest one. But even then, you got to make sure you're picking the right one. Not as simple as a standard match is what I'm saying.
No, you're right. A lot has to go into the thinking process here. Number one. Number two, you've got to have eyes in the back of your head. Case in point right there.
Torres now with a stomp to the midsection of Keebler and turns her attention. Rake in the eyes by Trish Stratus on E. Torres. Has her up now. Whoa, she's going for that atomic knee drop, but Torres had an idea of her own.
And now the bodies are flying all around the ring. Victoria with a running power slam. Nicely done, and that just rocks Eve Torres.
That one shook her to the core. Meantime, look at Trish with those devastating kicks. Here's a flying drop kick, and down goes Victoria. Meantime, coming off those ropes. Life after death for Stacy Keebler.
Not sure what Trish Stratus was doing there momentarily, but decides to turn her focus back to Stacy Keebler.
In the meantime, here's a cover going on, and they better pay attention.
That's how it works. Stratus was heading outside the ring for something, forgetting that there was a pinfall going on in the ring behind her. That would have been the match. This is not elimination, single pinfall or submission, and this one is over.
Keebler from behind, and she just took out Trish Stratus.
Follows it up with a massive headlock off the downed Eve Torres as Stratus going for the gut wrench, but Victoria reversing out of it.
Well, Stratus outside the ring now, taunting the fans a little bit, giving them something to boo about. And now Trish Stratus got a cover going on. The other 2 are not paying attention.
We've had 2 opportunities for pinfalls that would have been complete if not for the kick out itself.
And now the cross knee backbreaker, nicely done by Keebler. Off the rope, Stacy went for the kick, nobody home. Follows up with a wicked headbutt right there, and that definitely got the full attention. Still to come, ladies and gentlemen, our main event. It is going to be a slobber knocker for sure. Kurt Angle, there we go, one-on-one with the Texas Rattlesnake. Stone Cold Steve Austin here tonight. Torres with her feet up on the ropes, and almost. And here's a running bulldog there. For a minute there, I thought she was going to take both of them down.
Victoria able to break up the pin attempt. Irish whip reversal, nicely done, and then caught from behind.
Well, that's a double doozle right there. No way you're going to get that pinfall. Wicked shot to the back of the shoulders. Comes up with a boot right there to the face. Nice move again, and Keebler. All 3 women are down. Now she's just picked one for the cover, but she picked the wrong one. Trish Stratus was up and able to make the save. That's what we talked about earlier on in the match, though. If you get lucky enough to see all three of your opponents down, pick the right one, go for the cover. Victoria now drops her down, going for the cover, hooks the leg. Gets 1 and 2. There you go. I'll tell you what, Trish Stratus now trying, and Victoria's going to make that break up. She got Trish up underneath. This might be the widow's peak. Stratus is in trouble. And a save made by Stacy Keibler. In the meantime, Victoria's out on the floor. Big kick. We talked about it early on, the legs of Keibler. There it is. She just caught her right in the face, and Trish is bleeding. There's no one there. Stratus has to kick out on her own. Torres outside the ring. That was the best opportunity we've had here tonight. Meantime, somebody better take a look at Stratus. She caught that heel kick right in the face. She might have a broken nose. Yeah, I dare say the Barbie doll good looks might be leaving her after a night's match. Keibler out ringside now, taunting. Trying to pick her moment to get back in the action, and she does, but it doesn't work out in her favor. Look at this, Victoria with a running power slam. Shot to the midsection. And Torres seeing the blood streaming down, figuring that Trish might be the weakest target right now. And I'll say this much right now about Trish Stratus, and never count her out. Stratus was going after Keibler, and I thought she'd do a lot more than just throw her out of the ring after what happened. You can hear the sounds coming from Eve Torres. She's in all kinds of pain. Nice bulldog right there by Stratus. Stratus, a good old country girl. She knows about a good bulldog. Torres. And it moves off, and right there on the back end of it, you got to deal with Trish Stratus. Well, it's what we talked about. You have to have eyes in the back of your head because you're focusing on your opponent that you're dealing with, but in the meantime, you have no idea what's happening with the other two. There's a cover. Eve Torres with 2. And Stratus would have been pinned if she'd have hooked the leg. I believe you're right. Going that widow's peak again. Oh, man. And both ladies there to break this one up. Timing is everything. There's a neck breaker, and again, you got to read the room, darling. Nice move right there, and Stratus is down. And here comes shoulder breaker, nicely done. All 4 of these women are really bringing their A game here tonight. And Keibler gonna make the save. Meantime, Victoria out on the floor. She is injured. Holy cow, look at her. She is a mess. Not expecting to see much of her the rest of the night.
Victoria is a mess. There's a roll through. And now Eve Torres has got the arm using the top rope for added leverage. In the meantime, Trish Stratus doesn't even know what day of the week it is. Neck breaker. Goes for the cover. There's one. And a save made by Keeler. Another cover. And 3. Stacy Keebler gets the win.
Well, let's be honest, on paper, who would have picked her at the beginning of this match to be the winner of these 4?
I dare say not many, but this is what I was saying. She's one of the most overlooked talents here in the World Wrestling Federation. Massive win for that young lady right there. We'll be back with our main event.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, weighing in at 220 pounds, Kurt Angle.
As we take a look at the Olympic gold medalist, Kurt Angle, stepping through the ropes, he and his opponent are no strangers to one another, ladies and gentlemen. And I can tell you right now, someone who has covered their matches time and time again, this indeed is going to be a slobber knocker.
We talk about main events that could be, main events that would be. This is the main event that should be. These two guys push each other to the limit every time they step inside the squared circle together. Tonight will be no different.
When you hear the glass, that's your ass. The Texas Rattlesnake Stone Cold Steve Austin making his way down the aisle.
And his opponent from Victoria, Texas, weighing in at 252 pounds, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
As the Texas Rattlesnake takes his perch, this crowd absolutely on their feet. And we welcome Dookie Wilkos here live on the Nation Network. Welcome aboard.
What a night it's been. We have seen the biggest, the best, the toughest, the roughest, and now the main event, Stone Cold Steve Austin going up against Kurt Angle. It doesn't get any bigger than this.
Indeed, I have to agree with that 100%. The Angle with that hand wrapped, that's likely a nagging injury is my guess. Well, Kurt Angle never put nothing past him. Look at Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's got him in a sleeper hole.
Austin wasted no time at all trying to wear down Kurt Angle, I beg your pardon, with that sleeper hold.
Here's a small package by Angle.
Well, if this comes down to a straight-up shoot wrestling match, Kurt Angle's going to have a massive win on his hands, but the Texas Rattlesnake, while he can wrestle you, he will brawl.
Both of these men more than capable of putting on a hell of a barroom brawl, and we're going to see which of these two men has what it takes to take it all the way to the finish line here tonight. Normally, I'd say never bet against Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I wouldn't do it here tonight either, but I don't know that I could bet against Kurt Angle either. This is not good money right here. Vegas got to be calling 1 for 1.
Stone Cold now has him up, knee right to the head. Nicely done. Angle shoots him off the ropes, and Stone Cold there to block the hold. He tried a little like power slam, and Austin wouldn't have nothing to do with it.
Well, when you've got a history with an opponent the way these two have with each other, there's no warm-ups, there's no feeling each other out. You already know what the other man brings.
Well, these two guys definitely don't need to do no feeling out. They've been in the ring a time or five before, and this is really just continuing where they left off. Angle now with a series of rights and a big knee taking Austin down. And now Kurt Angle. So much for amateur wrestling.
Well, that's where the amateurs leave and professionals come in, because using fists in wrestling in the amateurs will get you thrown out, but in the pros, you get a 5 count.
Action now spills out here to the floor ringside, and Kurt Angle just caught Austin with that forearm shiver. You know, both of these men over their careers have suffered some injuries and time. And Austin, of course, with that bad neck, but Kurt Angle's got some neck issues as well. And it just makes me wonder at what point in time will one of these guys target that particular body part on their opponent. And look at this. Angle's been busted wide open. Holy cow, he is lacerated. Stone Cold Steve Austin's going to have to get back in the ring quickly, and he just barely beats the 10 count back in.
Well, that was a desperation move, I believe, by Kurt Angle. He realizes how badly he's been injured, and I think he thought his best chance of a win right now would be to get him counted out.
Well, I'll tell you right now, these fans here didn't pay to see no count-out victory, especially in our main event. Kurt Angle is in trouble. Austin just stomping a mud hole on him. Stone Cold, oh, he's going for the stunner.
Well, like you said, these two guys know each other well. Olympic slam, though, that connects.
Stone Cold Steve Austin is in trouble. Shoulders up.
Kurt Angle could feel it coming, and he was able to block it. Austin was caught off guard by that and fell victim to the Olympic slam, but he manages to kick out. And now we saw it earlier.
Kurt Angle's got the ankle lock on, and he is pulling back for all he's worth. Austin trying to make it to the ropes. We saw Eddie Guerrero earlier in a similar position.
Austin able to turn into the hold, break the lace. And you can see Austin's wearing that knee brace, so any undue torque on the tendons in that area are definitely going to have some problems for Austin.
Now Stone Cold stomping away on Kurt Angle. And here's one right to the midsection. Austin has him up in the air, going for a pile driver here. Oh, he caught him with that one. We talked about the bad neck earlier with Kurt Angle.
That's definitely going to compress the vertebrae.
And nobody home. Austin come raining down off the second rope, only to find nobody there when he got there. And now Stone Cold, what's he got in mind here? Staring across the ring, drives that knee brace right into that open wound to Kurt Angle. Angle's got the sweep. He's got the ankle lock on him, and this might be all she wrote.
Austin desperately trying to make it to the ropes. I don't see that as being an option for him.
Angle held on to it. Austin may have blocked out from that almost, just the pain he was in. And first in the buckle now, Austin's been split wide open. Oh, both of these men are busted open here tonight in the main event. It's officially a blood-for-blood match. The double axe handle right there by Kurt Angle, who thus far in this match has managed to avoid the Stone Cold Stunner. And he does it again. Austin cannot break through the defense of Kurt Angle in this match, and that is the difference for sure. No doubt about it, the amateur style of the Olympic gold medalist. And he's going to do it again. He's got the bad leg of Austin. How much longer can he hang on? Reaching for the ropes, but I don't think he's going to make it. Austin's in trouble. He will not give up. Kurt Angle is absolutely looking to take that leg home as a trophy tonight. It might be over his mantle place tomorrow. And Austin gets it shoulder up. Kurt Angle, shot blocked, and now Austin fighting his way back. Head first into the turnbuckle. Kurt Angle with an answer. And Austin's got one of his own. He's got Angle up across the shoulders and drops him head first on top of the turnbuckle pad. Angle collapses in the corner. That one did some damage, no doubt about that. Stone Cold Steve Austin here. He is waiting on Angle to get himself back up on the apron, and he does. Some heavy right hands, and Austin just drops the Olympic gold medalist to the floor. Angle caught that boot again. And another German suplex, this time on the concrete floor. We knew this was going to be a war. These two men are spilling blood, sweat, and there may be a few beers before it's all said and done. Angle's got Austin up and drops him on the apron. Reversal. Stone Cold Steve Austin. And he sends Angle crashing. Well, Austin says, I'm out thinking the Olympic gold medalist right now. That referee's count continues to tick. Kurt Angle's not going to get up. He managed to get up, and he couldn't get back in the ring. Stone Cold Steve Austin's going to squeeze one out here. Well, I got to tell you, there is no way that's the last we're going to see of these two because nothing has been settled. Indeed, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here for Monday Night Warriors. We'll see you real soon. So long.